Hi, I'm Ankit and you're watching Pits to Podium, where we're witnessing one of the most incredible racing events in this country, Volkswagen Ameo Cup 2017. It is day one of Volkswagen Ameo Cup 2017 races, and I'm at the Kari Motor Speedway in Coimbatore, which is a 2.1 kilometer long custom-built Formula 3 auto racing circuit. All right, so we are on the Kari Motor Speedway. Oh my God, that's loud! Whoa! My God, Rio, why so angry, man? What have I done? Tell me about what makes this racetrack interesting.
So, it's a 2.1 kilometer circuit.
Okay.
Very different in its nature compared to the other tracks that we have. The advantage of this circuit is that it has a nice 650 meter long straight that allows us as racers to have a very good opportunity to overtake down the straight.
Okay, so on a straight line is when you know somebody goes full throttle. What kind of top speeds are we talking about in the Ameo over here?
So over here we are doing about 180 kilometers an hour. The other part of the circuit is that it's got a lot of very tight and slow corners.
Tell me something, when you're coming in from the 650 meter straight line, you're obviously maxing out on the acceleration. You're probably hitting 170, 180, but then you're hitting a very hard corner, which is almost like a hairpin corner. What is the right speed to do this corner at?
So essentially, as we come down the straight, you need to be braking as late as possible.
As late as possible?
Yes.
And as hard as possible?
Definitely. The braking point in these cars is about 70 meters before the corner.
Okay.
And we are taking the corner at maybe about 50 to 60 kilometers an hour. So you're basically slowing down by about 100 kilometers an hour.
Absolutely. I love the track.
Yes.
It's a fun track.
Yes. If a driver makes a little bit of a mistake in the previous corner, that is also known as the Mickey Mouse corner because of the nature of its angles. And we come to the long D over here. So this is a very good overtaking opportunity for drivers who make a mistake at the Mickey Mouse.
Look out for the Mickey Mouse on the straight line, go full throttle, but brake late, brake hard, and I guess, needless to say, keep your eyes on the road.
Obviously.
Oh my God! Woo! I can taste my heart and my lunch all over again. This was mind-blowing. The Kari Motor Speedway is a brilliant track. There's so much of variety in here. Cannot wait for the incredible speed that the 20 racers are going to take. This guy is a mean man. He just hits the throttle without any warning and then brakes hard. I guess that's also a nice way to live your life.
Oh yes, of course. That's why everyone wants to be a racer.
Oh yeah, the thrill is unbelievable. Anyway, looking forward to the race now.
Yes.
Awesome, Ray. Thank you. Mir, just talk to us about the pit, what goes on over here. It looks super busy. We've actually had to struggle to ask everyone to keep quiet so we can talk here because there are loud sounds that are going on.
Absolutely. The way you said, major part of our back-end work happens in the pits.
Okay.
So what typically happens on a day is there are multiple race sessions, whether it's practice or qualifying or the race itself. And between these race sessions, you have some sort of repair work that needs to be done. And all of that happens over here.
Right. So what typically happens in a race, from what we've seen in Formula races, for example, is each team, each driver, each racer has his dedicated set of technicians and engineers.
Right.
That's not the case here. There's a common pool.
Correct. So it goes back to what we do actually, since this is a one-make championship.
Right.
Volkswagen Motorsport makes all the cars, we maintain all the cars. If a driver needs to come in, if he finds a problem, we have two teams on standby anyways, and they will tend to that particular driver through and through.
All right.
So the cars which have to come in, we make sure we repair them or attend to them as fast as possible, and they go out as soon as possible without losing any time.
Does the pit have a set of spare cars in case, God forbid, something bad happens to any of the racing cars?
We being Volkswagen, you rightly put it, we always have our spare cars so that in case there is a problem, we always can bank on those and the driver doesn't miss out on anything.
So what happens once the race is done here? Because even in the Volkswagen Ameo Cup, you've got races in Coimbatore, in Chennai, multiple tracks, multiple dates.
Basically, we carry all these 30-odd cars plus our spares. Entire setup is packed off in 7-odd trucks. So every place we go, we have to come a couple of days just to set up all of this, get the cars in place, and then the actual fun starts.
It's not like any of the racers take the car home because these cars are not road legal. They can only be driven on a racetrack.
Absolutely. So even for us, personally, I would love to drive it, but we have to transport it within the trucks, and that's the way it goes.
Wow. Obviously, sounds like a Herculean effort to put all of this together just so that the racers get their incredible cars in the best of their conditions. Hats off to this entire army of technicians, engineers, designers, tuning people who put these cars together for the Volkswagen Ameo Cup 2017.
I really believe I can, hold my position. That would be really great.
There's a bit of nervousness, but I've been here before.
Unfortunately, I overtook a black back marker and got a 20-second penalty.
So currently I've qualified P7, so I'm going to be starting on the 7th position on the grid. I really believe I can, hold my position. That would be really great.
There's a bit of nervousness, but I've been here before, so I'm pretty fine.
It's a long race, so the tires are going to heat up and it's going to get difficult lap by lap. So I just want to play it smart, use my experience and see how things go.
You're always nervous before a race, I feel, but keeping it calm is most important.
I came 10th in qualifying. I did 2 extra laps in the qualifying. That's why I got a penalty of having a pit start. To get the position back in the race, it would be a bit difficult for me.
It's always a good feeling being on a track, so excited as always.
It's a nerve-wracking bit is to get out of the pit and onto the grid. Those 15 minutes you don't know what is happening, but post that, it's the best feeling ever.
You hear that? More than 200 horses waiting to unleash on the racetrack. The cars are ready, the machines are ready, the racers are ready. Volkswagen Ameo Cup 2017 is a go. Let the races begin.
It was a good race. I had a very good start. I think that really helped me to pull away from the pack. And then I just put my rear view the other way around, so I don't look back and lose my concentration.
Pace-wise, it wasn't great. Conditions were difficult. The track had a lot of rubble on it, so it was really difficult to hold the car at times.
I had a messy start, so I ended up dropping to 5th or 6th, and then a contact with another racer from behind caused me to go last.
Unfortunately, I got a penalty for overtaking on a yellow flag, which is a safety hazard. So I took a penalty and I dropped down to 11th place after the race was done. It was kind of upsetting for me.
The moment the safety car came out, unfortunately, I overtook a black back marker and got a 20-second penalty, which took me down to 12th position finally.
Race 1 for me was an eye-opener basically. I was taking that in a way like it was just a practice, but then I realized that everybody was going more aggressively.
I did a huge crash on the corner 3 and corner 4, came in the pits as a DNF, and that's I did not finish.
Now that's what you call an absolutely crazy race. Anyway, let's take a look at the best foot that every racer's put forward and see how they stack up on the leaderboard.
We had 2 or 3 incidences during the first race. The first incident was at the first left-right where one of the new drivers dived in where there was no room whatsoever and hit another driver.
At the start, I kind of bumped into someone. We could not see each other.
I had nowhere to go. I was sandwiched in between two cars, and he just came and hit me because he had so much space on this side, still came and hit me, so I had to give him a piece of my mind. Not much damage done over there, and we had one driver miss his braking point. He just simply went off at the first corner.
Since it's a very long race, the brakes obviously get heated up, so maybe a combination of that and my mistake maybe, and like I just went inside the barrier.
What we have here is, it looks like a transformer, but we are basically putting together an entire Ameo all over again because there are 2 races in the day, and between 2 races, the car needs to be fixed. Manush is a race engineer. How would you assess the damage on this one?
With this particular car, the driver has been in the right competition stage and he wanted to push further. So when we spoke to him, he said that, yeah, I braked a little later than I should have.
That made him lose control.
That made him lose control, go off the track. And that runoff area is kind of not so good for the cars. That's meant to stop the car from going off the fence.
This looks now as good as brand new. Is it going to run just the way it was intended to before the next race?
It should and it will.
Wow, these race engineers definitely don't have an easy job here.
There's no point in them going hell for leather, going crazy. If they want to learn, if they want to progress, they need to finish races. I had a big incident at the last corner. I dropped from 5th to 9th.
Dhruv as well was catching behind me, so I didn't want to lose a place as well.
I started 7th, finished 7th, but I had few battles.
Welcome back. You're watching Pits to Podium, and it's time for race number 2 on track number 1, which is Kari Motor Speedway here in Coimbatore. One of my favorite quotes in life is by Steve McQueen, who said, "Life is racing. Anything before and after is just waiting," which is why I hate waiting. We don't need to anymore. Let's dive straight in and see the action from race number 2.
I had a big incident at the last corner. I dropped from 5th to 9th, and then I took control of my car, and then I gained back a position.
Unfortunately for other drivers, their penalties gave me position number 5. So in the second race, I started 5th, climbed up to 3rd in the first very lap itself, and then followed both the leaders, Karvinder and Sandeep, all throughout.
I tried my level best. I showed my nose everywhere possible. As you all know, the track is quite tiny and it's very tight, so doing a mistake would cost a lot, and Dhruv as well was catching behind me, so I didn't want to lose a place as well.
I started 7th, finished 7th, but I had few battles, so I feel a little better.
I started in 12th. had a brilliant start. Again, climbed up the order, finished in 6th. So overall, I'm happy.
I had nothing to lose in race 2, so I gave it my best. I climbed 7 places, which is pretty nice for me.
My point in the season is very less, so that's why in the next race I have to improve myself and gain more points.
Just when we thought the first race was crazy, the second race took it a whole new notch up. The competition was super cutthroat, and that also reflects in the tally board.
In spite of being in the 7th position, Sandeep came in first, and this time Karminder was unable to shake him off and came to a close second. Behind them, Mohite had to settle for 3rd, with Jeet fighting through the pack after race 1 penalty to finish a fine 4th. Junior driver Anmol Singh surprised everyone by finishing in 5th.
Today's races were pretty good for me. Took it easy in the first 2 races of the season.
Well, next race I just have to take it easy, be more patient, be more calm, making sure I get a perfect lap every time.
Really hope to be consistent as what I've shown in this round, and I hope that I can keep up the pace and be consistent and pull off in the pack.
The Chennai now just have to focus on my driving, and I'm comfortable with the track, so that should be much better than this.
It is a long championship, many races to come. So stay cool. Don't hesitate to, make a move, but make a proper clean move.
Overall, it's been a very positive weekend. We had very close racing, especially the second race with the top 3. The finish was literally undecided till the very last lap. And that's exactly what we want to see more. All the cars are in one piece. All the drivers are in one piece, so it's a good racing weekend.
I'm quite happy with the way they've done. I think a lot of that is down to the fact that we had a very exhaustive 3 days of training right before this round, and that gave them a lot of confidence. It gave them a lot of opportunity to learn the track, learn the car. The biggest change from this weekend to the next weekend is obviously going to be the track. They will have to adapt to taking longer and faster corners, and they will be taking corners at over maybe 130, 140 kilometers an hour. And that is where an element of fear does come in.
And after this super eventful day, some racers are feeling quite confident while others are preparing to do better next time. Because it's not just about winning or losing, it's also about proving your true potential to yourself. On that note, I bid goodbye, and I'm going to see you next week from the tracks in Chennai, where the races have another exciting chapter.
Devin, my God.
Very experienced racer from South Africa, Devin, came down here as a guest driver.
He's quite fast.
Suddenly I had gearbox problems and my car shifted to neutral. I had power loss.
This weekend has been disappointing as of now.